Hello, welcome to Game Again. My name is Muzz, and welcome to Season 3 review of Squid Games by me, Muzz. Don't know why I said it like that, but here we are, we're going with it. And this will not have any spoilers in it, so if you're worried about that, do not worry. I'm just going to talk about my overall kind of feelings towards the season as a whole. And I'm pretty disappointed. I have to be said, and I'm disappointed because they set such a high bar with season one. I thought season two, oh, almost captured some of the magic. Like it was definitely a step down from season one, and I feel like season three is a step down from season two. And I will get into kind of my overall feelings without going into too much spoilers. Basically, my main issue with season three, well, there's one major issue that I have that I am not going to spoil here. If you know, you know. There is one thing that when it is on screen that takes me completely out of season three, and if you know, you know. And I'm not going to say any more there. Go watch it. You will know. The moment you see it, you will know what I'm talking about. And it is showing. It is shown a lot throughout the season, which is quite frustrating. And I have looked into why they done it. I understand why they done it. I think it was a poor choice, but that is just me. Anyway, apart from that, just felt like felt rehashing a lot of season one. Jihan obviously being the main character, he was the only one, and the detective, who I forget his name, kind of on the outside, were the only two I was kind of interested in their stories. A lot of the side characters, that's what I thought season one done so well, was building up the side characters and making you really feel for them and having some interesting dynamics within there. And they do have some of that in season three, but it's not enough. And I feel like these side characters really do lack the kind of punch that the season one side characters had. I think there's a lot of they're going for kind of the same types of characters, but just in a different way, and it doesn't really stick the landing in a lot of them. It must be said. Um, yeah, ultimately the games are okay if I'm thinking about it. I'll tell you the names. That won't spoil, or what it might actually spoil. I'll tell you the names. Hide and seek, which I actually felt this one had the most potential, but I thought the set design, I don't know, the kind of, it just didn't really land for me as a game. And there was some very key scenes that happened in this, but just wasn't that interested because of I predicted it. It was very predictable this season. I will say that very predictable season three. I kind of predicted a lot of the main plot points that were going to happen, and yeah, hide and seek didn't really do it for me. Jump rope was visibly more interesting, and there's a lot more moments that I was definitely like, oh, okay, that is oof. That was, I think, the one game that kind of was like, oh, kind of hit season one levels of like, this is a good game. And the final one was interesting, but we're not going to spoil that. Yeah, I just lacked a certain something. It just lacked a certain something this season. It just didn't quite. There's a few moments where I'm like, yes, we're back, and then no. Um, I just think it didn't really do what I will say to Netflix, because you know you're watching this. Take a break. Let's just let's let Squid Games lie for a wee bit. I feel it needs to just lay dormant for a few years, kind of get the interest back in it, because I feel like season two there was a lot of hype, and then I've not heard as much people kind of wanting, even knowing when season three was coming out. So just let it lie for a bit, and then come back to it, revisit it in a few years, because I think we're all Squid Gamed out at this point. The yeah, just the story just didn't really grab me. The ending, again, not spoiling anything, ending was predictable. I think everybody knew what was going to happen at the end. And if you know why you can't get invested in what happens at the end because of certain artistic choices. And that is all I would say in that. But yeah, the ending wasn't really satisfying. And I don't necessarily not mind what happens in the end. It's just the way it was executed. And I think one big thing which impacts the season wholeheartedly, I think just pulls you right out of the season is in that final kind of scenes, if you like. Um, what else can I talk about in terms of just my disappointment of it? I just think it's still a well made, well acted. Like some of the scenes that the actors do in this is really impressive. I must say the the acting depth is definitely something that I will not critique. I think the acting is very on point. It's well produced. Some of the sets are just totally out there, totally fantastical, and is done really well. Uh, but there is problems with it. I think the main problems is I think the story going from like I don't understand why it just couldn't have been delayed and made it one big season or condense it. I think they needed to cut out maybe a few of the side characters and just make it smaller, condense it into one season. I think that would have made more impact. It would have given it more focus because there's a lot of side characters that I just don't care about. That I just did not vibe with them because they don't get as much screen time in season two, and then they actually become the main focus of season three. And by the time the ending of season three comes, you've not been with them enough. You've not. There's not been that much development. There's no real main bad guy. Like there's bad people in it, but they're all like generic old guys, like they're all generic old Asian guys, and it's like uh, there's one who's recognizable, and then they do try like have a twist ending with the one who ends up being the real bad one, but it's just like oh, come on. And if you've seen Squid Games one, let's talk about the VIPs. They come back. I mean, they come back, and they are just so cartoonish, so unbelievably evil, written so like they should be twiddling their mustache because of how cartoonishly written they are. Like it is very off-putting, and it takes. We get the point. They're not very nice people. They're evil. They're vile human beings who think that they're better than everyone else. We get that. You don't need the dialogue to keep hitting over the head with a hammer. That's what you try to feel like. It's try like, look, they're evil. Can't you see? Yeah, it's plainly obvious. And yeah, some of the dialogue, some of the things that they're talking about, just the mannerisms, it's over the top and not in a good way. Pulls you out of what is quite a I say grounded, tries to be grounded characterly, definitely. Like there's no real, there's a few out there characters, but it's done in a way that's kind of believable. But when it comes to VIPs, it's just so cartoony. Anyway, what do you think of Squid Games season three? Do you agree with me and think it is not as good? I definitely think it's the weakest of the seasons. Or do you like it better than season two? Do you like it better than season one? If you like it better than season one, you're wrong. Objectively wrong. No, I'm kidding on, of course. It's all up to you and your opinions. But that is just my thought. That is just my 2 cents. I believe it is a step down. Still a decent TV show, a decent season. Like I definitely wasn't bored. Definitely wasn't bored. Which is I think the worst thing you can be. But there was a lot of things that I was like, I wouldn't have done that, or yeah, I'm not vibing with this. But yeah, with all that being said, all that's I to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.